So a very good morning to everyone who have gathered here. Today, I, Shreya Maini of MBA 3, takes this opportunity to welcome you all to the webinar by IIC, that is Institutions Innovation Council of APJ Institute of Management and Engineering Technical Campus, Jalandhar. In India, innovation is still not the epicenter of education. Attitudinal shift to ensure innovation and startup culture, MHRD, Government of India, has taken an initiative to set up Institutions Innovation Council at various higher institutions in India. And we proudly announce that our institution is one of the selected higher education institutes for setting up of IIC and to promote startups, educational opportunities for the students. MHRD has also provided the guidelines for the development, entrepreneurial agenda, managing intellectual property rights, that is IPRs, ownerships, technological licensing, equity sharing, to set up the enterprises established by the students under the flagship of IIC. So today, our webinar is on the topic entrepreneurship, tips and tricks in mind while running a startup by Ms. Ashna Chhabra, who is the CEO and founder of Kling Creatives. Ms. Chhabra has a diverse background before founding Kling Creatives. She has worked as an executive producer with Apple Tree Firm, as a finance associate with Land Bank Developers and in KPMG Middle East. She has also been awarded as Best Public Speaker and Best Delegate at MUN. She also upholds various responsibilities as of a president at Indian Culture Club at American University in Dubai, as a vice president of MUN Club, and has been a core member of various prestigious theatre groups. And her list of achievements goes on. So we welcome you, ma'am. Now, also, I would like to introduce a very warm welcome to our director, sir, Dr. Rajesh Pagga, AIMTech, and to all the faculty members and students who have joined us for this webinar today. Now, I would like to request our director, sir, to please enlighten us on this.
Thank you so much, Shreya. Very good morning to each and everyone present here and all the attendees of this webinar. And I must say, this is a good initiative by IIC of APJ Institute of Management and Engineering Technical Campus. They have taken this initiative with regard to the entrepreneurial activities. All dear students, I know right now you all are occupied with many assignments with your teaching, and simultaneously you are preparing for your Pinnacle 2021. And after the pandemic, it is over. We are now preparing so many activities with regard to the cultural and simultaneously with regard to the entrepreneurship. So I must congratulate IIC as well as the Entrepreneurship Development Cell. We are having many MOUs with the different organizations for the different startups. And today, I think the resource person, the very impressive biodata, and Ashna Chhabra ji, we welcome you in our campus. Not physically, but virtually, we welcome you here at this platform. And definitely, the topic which you have chosen going to be really beneficial for all the students, tips to keep in mind while running a startup. And before that, students, they have already attended many webinars with regard to entrepreneurial activities. And definitely, and I'm sure with your wisdom, with your experience, they are going to be benefited in a bigger way. So thank you so much for joining with us. And definitely, we will look forward whenever you will be coming to this part. You will be coming to our campus as well. And my compliments to Dr. Avneet Deora, President of IIC, then co-convener Arushi Sidana, and my students Shreya Maini for organizing, and panelist Aman Pratap and Hardeep, and of course, last but not the least, our system engineer, Mr. Santosh Kumar Mishra, managing the show. So thank you so much, and please go ahead, ma'am, and once again, welcome to this platform. Ashna, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. That was very, very kind, very sweet of everyone. I'm very happy and I'm very grateful that you thought I was capable of this webinar. I do not take anyone for granted. I don't take this moment for granted. Thank you. Thank you so much, Arushi, for coordinating. Thank you so much for Shreya, for such a great introduction. Thank you so much, sir. You're being very kind and very sweet. I don't think I deserve that much, but thank you. To start off with, I would like to say I'd like to introduce myself and I would like to introduce what I do. And then, slowly and steadily, we can go on to the tips and tricks that anyone or any entrepreneur can keep in mind. This is not something as a knowledge that I want to give away because I feel like we learn every day. So, in the past few years, whatever I've done, good, bad, ugly, worst, it's mine, it's my learning. And I always thought that I struggled a lot in my starting days. I feel like I still am, and it's better to educate people on the potential struggles that they might feel in their journey also. And so I will just keep my cards out, however they were, in an honest way. So just to talk about myself, I used to be decently good at academics. I've studied in Delhi, and then I went on to do my graduation from American University in Dubai. So I used to intern every year in my summer internship because coming from an academic background, my parents were like, "No, you have to intern every year. You cannot have fun." So I used to work with KPMG in Gurgaon, the Delhi branch. And then I also worked with a few startups like Zomato, because at that time Zomato was really coming up and they wanted interns. And, I wanted to learn the hard way and understand how startups work. Then right out of college, I was doing my finance major in BBA. So I got recruited by KPMG Middle East for their deal advisory to make business models and for the strategy, basically that part. Then in the next 6 months, just when I was about to they offered me the permanent employment contract. And that's when I had a deja vu moment that I asked myself, all my life, I worked to become a consultant, but do I really want to do this? So then I just took like a few minutes and I went home that night. I just closed my eyes and I visualized my life. I was like, okay, we all have one life and I want to be practical about it because I'm also a finance student. I understand money, I understand cash flow. I understand that dreams don't work just in a fairyland. You have to pay for life, you have to fund everything that you want to do. But it's still worth taking a risk if I have a plan, if I strategize. So then I quit my job. I quit the job. I didn't take the contract. I came back to, this is when I was in Dubai. I came back to Delhi. Till date, I still don't know why I came back, why I quit, why I really quit. But I came back and I made a list of things that I want to do in my life. I literally took a diary and just wrote down 20 things that I want to do. Then on the next page, I wrote down all the things that I feared. And I was like, okay, each day I will do everything that I wanted to do. And each day I will sort of in my way get over my fear. So I started traveling a lot in India, from meeting entrepreneurs to going to meets, to meeting monks, to meeting traditional business owners. I used to have a lot of interaction with them. Then I joined a construction company. So I used to work, I used to interact with a lot of different sort of people. Then I started an acting course where I enrolled for a diploma. There I met such wonderful artists. I was doing theater with them. In no time, because I come from a business background, I wanted to produce theater in in the Delhi scene and see if it's profitable. When I did that, I think I honed my management skill a lot, and I understood that there is a prominent gap in art and business, because right now there's one thing is doing business and earning profit from it. There's one thing is actually being an artist. Most artists, not most of them, do not know how to get business, at least in the theater one. So I was like, okay, this is the market that I want to tap. And that is how Click Creative was born. I thought that there was a dearth of great content coming out from small to local Indian businesses, because it's a chicken and egg situation. You want to put money in marketing, but you're not earning enough, so you won't put money in marketing. So you don't have good content. When you don't have good content out in terms of a good website, in terms of good branding, have a brand story, have like great things on Instagram or Facebook, because out of sight is out of mind. You are losing out on your potential customers. So then that is when I was like, okay, I want to put all of my expertise into one space. I call Click Creatives a space where it's my way of making all the youth, the young artists, or people who want to be a little more creative, they come on board, and we have a few brands, businesses that are, let's say, belong to the small to medium size range. We work together, so it's a win-win. The artistic side of them comes out to create content for small businesses. So that is how Click Creative was actually born. So even till today, initially there was a time when I used to have like a questionnaire for business owners, asking them why are they doing what they're doing. Because if they know the purpose of the business that they have, and that purpose could be just to be rich, earn money, I was like, can we get one purpose in your brand book or in your business plan where it is a little more inclusive? When I say inclusive, I mean something more than your personal benefit. Like when I talk about Click Creators, it's not just me. I feel like the day I'll be a successful entrepreneur when my whole team is winning, as in it could be financially, it could be just a mental growth, it just the whole well-being. So I used to ask them, like, why are you doing what you're doing, and let's figure out 10 ways where other people are also benefiting from your initiative apart from you earning money. And you know what, so eventually it so happened that whenever a business goes through a tough time, when you have a steady purpose or a good business plan and an inclusive purpose, the phase is not that hard, because the pickup is stronger, because you feel like you're not just doing this for yourself, but there are so many people around and you actually have to do it for them also. So I feel the buck always starts, the buck stops here. I take full responsibility of all my actions and where the business is going, and if it's impacting so many people in so many ways, you will pick up. So that is one of the things that why I started Click Creative. Also, I'm a camera actor, so you might have seen me in a few TVCs or digital ads, because that's my passion. That's the artsy side of me. And when I used to be on set, I always used to be very interested in what's happening behind the set. So I call myself a storyteller. I do not call myself a business owner or an actor or a theater artist or a producer. I call myself a storyteller. Wherever there is a story to tell, I will try to tell it in the most authentic, and it's going to be an intent based authentic story, but I'll do it creatively. That's why it's called Click Creative. Now this was about me and my company, and I want to also, now let's go on to the tips and tricks that I learned on the way. So one of the most important thing that I wanted to say is that it's okay to not know what your calling is right out of college or in college. I had no idea. I'm a finance major. I got recruited by KPMG. I was making business models and strategizing for them. And then cut to, I quit my job. I'm traveling all over India. I'm meeting so many people. I'm trying to widen my horizon. I'm trying, from a limited mindset, I'm trying to have an unlimited mindset where I feel like everything is an opportunity. So but you have to start slow, but you have to start small. But it's important to start. It's like 1% every day. So then this is the tip that I even give to my teammates. We're a team of people that we work at Click. So I feel like one of the things that, if you think that you don't know what you want to do or what your calling is or where exactly is the trigger point, it's not killing it, then I would say that practically tonight, if you can try, like, just wherever you feel you're a little more silent and a little more calm, it could be the early morning or it could be late night, whatever suits you, just take out like 5 to 10 minutes, close your eyes and visualize what you enjoy the most. It could be the most random thought. It could be you performing on stage, or it could be you reading a book, or it could be you just performing any activity that sounds very vague, but that's a tip. That's a tip that your mind is giving you. Then slowly look for courses around that. once you're starting to enjoy that, I feel like it's okay if you're not very good at it on the first day, but if you feel that there is growth in that particular sector for you, then it's important to intern in those organizations and see if you're really fitting the bill or not. That's why I've interned at vague places. I've even interned at fashion houses. I've interned at construction companies. I've interned with public speakers. I have interned at a consultancy. I've done so many things. I have interned at travel agencies because I was like, I really like traveling. I love meeting people with different ideologies. Let's see where this goes. So, there I understood about the global map and what actually, so if you go to Nepal, if you go to India, if you go to Bhutan, where can I go? So I had a lot of knowledge about geography and people and culture, which I'm very inspired by. So I feel like you must, especially in colleges could be a safe playground for people to just intern left, right, and center according to in their area of liking, and something can come out of it. At least you will know that you're not good at that thing that you like. Even that's clarity. Because I always thought that I wanted to, become a consultant. When I was offered a job, I was like, I don't think I want to do this. I got that clarity when I did it. I got a job, and then I had a choice to make if I want to pursue it or not. When I got rid of my job, I had no idea I was going to become an entrepreneur. But here I am today because I did not think limited. Until this day, I try to think limitless in a limitless manner. So that could be a good tip. Like, just to simply put it together, I try to make everything that I say very simple and practical, that it doesn't seem philosophical. It seems like, okay, so these are the 10 things that I took away from 20 or 30 minutes of the conversation. So just to summarize it again, it's okay to not know what your calling is, or to not know what you want to do. But the most important part is to be on the path of trying out things and exploring. So, in the night or whenever you feel a little silent, just visualize what you like the most, make a list of things, at least do those courses or go intern. You will see what you're good at, what you're bad at. Something will come out of it for sure. Then the second thing that I feel it's very important to learn as an entrepreneur is consistency and adaptability. Adaptability being the key point, because when I started this company called Click Creators, I started it just before the pandemic hit. Pandemic hit in March 2020. I started my company February end. So that was a very tricky time. And, it started with one service. It was just videography and photography. Both are on-field jobs. So then we were all at home, cut to, and how can I shoot for anyone? It's practically not possible. So that's when in the pandemic, I actually expanded. I went on to social media management, branding. Then because that was for survival, right? There could have been, I could have just been cribbing about the fact that, oh my God, the pandemic hit and my business is shut. Or I can just become wiser, because every situation, I feel like as a person, you have two choices. Either you can feel defeated or wounded by it, or you can use the wound and become wiser, or use the situation to just become wiser and adapt, So that's what I tried to do. Like, with whatever situation that we had in the country, globally, we were all stuck at home. So I was like, okay, let me actually utilize this time to go all technical and go all digital, and I'm going to do social media management, and I'm going to start the branding, which was actually the plan for me according to my business plan in 2022, which I actually started in the next month. It was a lot of hard work. It was a lot of getting people together and making it happen, but we successfully did it. Then by November, I had started even website development and designing. So I actually say that this company has blossomed in the pandemic, and it only blossomed and it expanded when so many businesses were shut. It expanded only because I was being very adaptive. You know, the approach is not to say no. It's like, okay, if there's a tough time, how can I work around it? And that can only happen if you take responsibility for it, responsibility for your business. Because I always had the intent that I want to do something for the society. As I said, that Click Creatives was born because I literally saw a dearth of good content in small businesses because they didn't have the money to spend lakhs and lakhs in marketing campaigns. And I was a startup as well. So I was like, okay, let's help each other, you know, because my intent was always inclusive. It was like, I want to help people and also run a successful business. That is why I thought of 10 things to make it work. And that's how I expanded in the pandemic. So and consistency. Now adaptability is one thing, but small wins every day is something that I work on. And it doesn't need to be, oh, you can crack that one big deal. It could be just small deals every day that can even lead to a lot of confidence and good team persona and aura in the work environment. Because at the end of the day, if some business is let's say earning money from our services, we know that we're doing a good job. It could be a small business right now, but we're doing a good job, so we're on the right track. So I would like to say that, so small wins every day is very important. It could be a win even in your behavior. It could be just a mind shift or a mental shift. That is also a biggest win, because whatever your thoughts are, eventually that will be your action the other day. So it's important to re-engineer your mind every day so that you're into a limitless zone of thought process. One thing so that would, to summarize the second section again, it would be adaptability to the current situation, making the buck stop here. When I say stop the buck at me, it means I take full responsibility of this situation and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it happen. That will only happen if you take responsibility. If it's on someone else, and you always expect the other team member to do it. So, and you know, even as a team, your team members will observe what you're doing. Eventually they will also practice the same thing. So more than saying it, if you actually just do it, it will lead to a very positive work environment, something where people are wanting to grow each day, you know. So that, and the second thing would be just small wins. Consistency is the key. Then onto the third thing that I would like to come would be, this is something that I go by. A lot of people talk about making an impact. I like to say you have to be impactful. Then if you're just being impactful, everything that you do in your life, every activity will make an impact. So it needs to start in the mind. Like a lot of people talk about, okay, you know, I want to create a legacy. But what is a legacy? You know, for me, I feel like if I, as an individual, as an entrepreneur, if I can help in any way to create a mental shift in my team members' mental space or everyone that I meet, that will lead to a different thought process. If I've created a mental shift of thoughts, if I've you know, in some way enabled a way where they are moving from a limited to a limitless mindset, which means they're exploring, which means now they're suddenly adaptive, which means they believe in consistency, and which means they believe in small wins every day and working on themselves, this will lead to a different thought process that they have. That thought process will lead to a different behavior that they would have. Even in terms of defeat, they would not think of defeat as defeat. It would be a learning. It's going to be like, okay, how many times I will fall back, those many times I will learn a new lesson. So just this sort of an impact, if you create in an individual, it could be your team members, your clients, in society in general, you will leave a certain part of your personality in them, and that's a legacy. That's the legacy that you want to leave behind, a mental shift in someone that can never be deleted. So I feel like just being impactful is much more important than making an impact. Making an impact is still like at a surface level, but if you're being impactful, that's at a root level. That is something that no one can take away from you. So as an entrepreneur, as an individual, as a person, as a woman, I always think that, okay, if I'm even having a 5 minutes conversation with someone, how can I just be impactful so that I can help them and help them get closer to whatever they want to do, in a very um in a way that I'm not feeling, in a very humble way, not in a way that you want to help someone, just as an individual. Because first you have to be a very secure individual to become a very secure entrepreneur. I do not understand, or I do not believe in competition or defeat or anything. Whenever I actually get very happy when I look at entrepreneurs succeed, it makes me so happy, it makes me so inspired. I get very inspired by anyone's journey. So I feel like in the society, if everyone wins, that will be the best kind of world to live in. Just the best, pick the other person up. You cannot think about one up concept has been taught to us very initially, that there's only one number one and there's only one number two. Why? Everyone can just win in their own way. It doesn't have to be like that. So this is one of the things that I really, really want to do. I would not say believe in, because if it was just a belief, it'll just be in my mind and won't be an action. I would say that I want to do in my life, in whatever way. That's the legacy that I want to leave, where everyone is winning and I'm happiest for them, and we just support each other. Because this company that I have, it's not me, it's my team members. If they didn't do what they are doing, I wouldn't be here. So whenever I think of Clique Creatives, it's everyone who's worked. It's not me, ever. It will never be me. Then lastly, this is also something that is very imperative for an entrepreneur to, especially a startup, because when you have a startup, you cannot afford very fancy salaries of employees. You have to start small, because you're a startup. You cannot afford to give someone or pay someone in lakhs on the first day. It's very humble beginnings for everyone. But whatever teammate that you have, it's important to be very grateful for the work that they're doing for you. They do not have to do it, but they're doing it because they believe in the cause, right? So I feel like it's always my responsibility to create a very positive environment for them and very growth oriented. So I ask them, every day, like, what do you, I actually ask them, where do you think I can place you? You tell me. So, in so many of these interactions that I had, one of the examples that I want to give is that there used to be a teammate, and he was very interactive, and he want a social bird. He always wanted to talk and meet new people and all of that. Initially, because of the job opening was such that it was very Excel oriented stuff, so on the desk job, I felt like I'm not using his talent. I'm not being a good entrepreneur. I'm not being a good team member when I'm making him do what he actually innately doesn't come to him. So, and also it's not making profits for the business. So then he was placed into PR, into more interactive jobs, marketing, getting campaigns, talking to 10,000 people. And that worked wonderfully. So it's very important, at least, to start off. If there is someone who's a bit of an introvert, who doesn't like a lot of interaction, you give them stuff, you ask them, okay, these are the 10 services that I offer. Where do you think I can fit you? Where do you think you will be able to produce results and maximize your talent? What is your innate talent that you have? Because abhi to everyone is not very skilled. We're also learning on the way. You don't have 15 years of experience in one thing right out of college, or like after one job. So what do you think you like, and where do you think you can fit? So that's the very first thing that I ask everyone. And one person opted for an Excel oriented job, one person opted for something more creative, talking to 10,000 people and just being everywhere. I said, okay, do that, let's just do that. And it worked wonderfully. So just placing people in the right spot will 100% generate results, because now suddenly they like what they do, and there's every day they're confident about it. Now when someone is very confident about it, they would do a good job. They wouldn't think of it as, oh, I have to go to work. It was fun. We used to work late nights also, and it was always fun. It's crazy, because when I took some time off, I took yearly off, and my team members were working because they like what they do. So I was not working, but everyone was working and they were posting and everything was happening. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Everyone wants enough, but here no one wants to leave because they genuinely like what they do, you know. So that is something that I would like to say as a young entrepreneur, just placing people, the job will already be done. You know, just streamline the work in a way, streamline duties in a way that they don't feel like they're working. It feels like growth. It doesn't mean that they're good at it, but at least they will try. They will try harder the next day, you know. So that is very, very important. And then one of the last things that I would, yes, even like I feel like as an entrepreneur, it's very important to take feedbacks about yourself. I actually ask my employees, how am I doing? How did I do today? Is it good? Is there any issue? You can tell me. You know, it's like most of the times I've seen in an organization or the people at the top give feedback to everyone. I actually ask them if I have done a good job and if there's anything that I must change or I must work on, because they are the part of the process, right? They're handling the minute details. So they actually can, they have the eye for the detail. They're around the space where a lot of errors can happen. So again, one of the things that it's very important is to take steady feedbacks from your team members on how to improve the process, because this led to a very positive change in our work environment. Everyone takes feedback from everyone. There in my team there is no hierarchy, everyone is equally a part of the whole thing. So I call myself also a team member of Click Creatives. We all sit together and we work. And so yes, this will increase your, you know, like if there is any issue at any level happening at an organizational level, such feedbacks will really, you will be able to pinpoint them and suddenly work at them. So then if I also have feedback to give, everyone's very open to it because they're doing the same thing, you know, it's give and take. So that, and one of the most important things I've already mentioned, but this is the concluding factor of my tips that I want to give as an entrepreneur, is again to bring something more inclusive in place, so that when there is a downfall of the business, it's you know that you're doing something bigger than just earning money. Money is very important, but if there is a motive, if there's a purpose of doing something a little more bigger, the tough part as a team you will sail through. So that is very important. This is one of the things that a vice president of a very big firm, a media firm, told me. That she asked me, she said that someone asked us, they're like that, you know, what makes you happy, or vice president, what makes you happy? So like the only thing that Asha I could think of was this one time I helped someone, and I still remember it, and they were crying and I still remember it. That made me really happy. I don't even remember the paychecks anymore. Yeah, I remember the first time I got a paycheck, but so every time if you just think about it, when you become really happy and fulfilled is something you've done socially, you know, to someone else, for you or for someone, a deed you have performed. It would not be money. Money, I think, is a very, very, very important accessory to life. It will make your life very convenient. It will make your life very luxurious, and unnecessary stuff, you know, you don't have to struggle for. So keeping that in mind, but it cannot be the sole purpose, because if it's the sole purpose, you will be very insecure as a leader. And if someone else is growing, it might just bother. But so that is very important, to understand why you're doing what you're doing and make it a little inclusive. It's okay if right now your business plan is not inclusive, that's fine. That inclusivity can come, it can be incorporated anything. I think any idea can become exclusive, but it's very important to earn money. All of this is zero if if the firm is not earning money. So yes, that. And lastly, I think that's it from my end. Just to give a summary of everything that I said, so it's a little practical in approach. First thing I talked about was adaptability. Adaptability is key, because if you're not adaptive to change, and change is a constant, how will the business grow? It's not possible. There could be 8 pandemics, but you need to be adaptive enough. Okay, this is the situation and I'm going to move forward with this. These are the 10 plans that I have. Then would be consistency. Small wins every day is very, very important. Just even for just team confidence, it's very important. People will know every day they're doing 1% better than what they were doing yesterday. That, and being an impact, because when you're being an impact, everything, every action will be impactful. Then I would like to say just having a good feedback system in the organization where everyone is talking and there's this free space for ideas. Everyone should brainstorm together, try to sit together. It's very, very important. Try to get to know, like, I know what my colleague's favorite book is, what her favorite color is. She knows about me. We know these things. So, it's a very easy environment to work in. Yes, and just I feel like the day you will be a successful entrepreneur when your whole team is winning. Everyone around you is winning, is successful in whatever, but their definition of success could be very different. My definition of success could be just a mixture of a financial, mental, and a physical well-being. Some person could be just financial. So, whatever their definition of success is, I will be a successful entrepreneur when my whole team is successful. Yes, so I guess that is what I wanted to say today. And if there is that one thing, I always, whenever I talk to anyone, I always summarize, like, okay, we had a 10 minutes conversation. What is that one thing that I can take away? So from my conversation, if there's one thing that you can take back, would be to have a limitless mindset. Because if you're okay with exploring, if you're not scared of exploring, then great things can happen because you're willing to take a risk for yourself. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for this conversation. And now, if anyone has a question, they can ask me.
Wow, ma'am, your journey was really inspiring. So I would like to extend a very warm thank you from all of us for a very enlightening and knowledgeable session. And today's webinar was just full of insights that you gave us, like how to be adaptable, how to handle the staff, of taking consistency in our lifestyle, or how to take feedback from the people we are working with. So all these things, I'm sure that people will take these feedback, will take the knowledge that you have shared, will really help the budding entrepreneurs in their future. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
So students and all the people who have joined here, we have sent the link for the quiz. So kindly just go through the link and attempt the quiz here.
And in case if anyone is having any questions, any queries, in such a case, I think it can be put into Q&A or in a chat box as per the convenience. And practical oriented way, you have mentioned many tips and tricks with regard to the various activities to be kept in mind while running a startup. And I must say, beautifully you narrated, and you are a true storyteller. I must say this and must compliment you. And 3-4 areas ki one must think limitless. Definitely every day, at least 5 to 10 minutes, one must go for certain thought process so that they can find out different ways where I can think and to what extent I can reach. So this is the first one, and the most important factor which you mentioned, that is the adaptability. And of course, adaptability, and I think you are the most apt example for this, because you started your venture in Feb 2020, and from March onwards, the pandemic was there. And definitely you have come up with this venture successfully, and that is because of the adaptability. And according to the circumstances, when we are changing ourselves and we are planning accordingly, and the lot of flexibility is there, definitely we can achieve anything. And of course, the most important, the critical factor is the consistency, daily doing something, at least small step. So you mentioned in your talk about the failures. I must say the failures, basically, these are the success stones for your future. And without failures, no one can rise in this world. So this is on the basis of your experiences, definitely in case if it is there, then one can achieve any of the targets. And most important, it is the feedback system and the proactive approach, which I like the most. That is taking the whole team into consideration, taking the best interest of each and everyone, and growing with each other. So definitely this is the key factor, and taking feedback. So I think if all these points to be kept in mind while only, but in every walk of life. So really thankful to you for this wonderful talk, and must compliment to Rushi and Devraji and all the panelists present here. And in case if any queries there, you can raise. And thank you so much once again, Ashna ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was very kind.
Ashna madam,
Namaste.
Ashna madam, I have one question for you. आवाज आ रही है मैम? Ashna ma'am? Ma'am, my question is very simple, that how one can just realize that whether he or she could be an entrepreneur or whether he could be suitable for a job or some, means how one can realize in his her life.
Right. That's a very, very good question, actually. So how I can say I realized that I'm more suitable for being an entrepreneur rather than doing a job is that whenever I used to sit down, even while working, I used to only think of process improvement. I used to be like, but how can I make this process better? What is the, I never used to think about कि अच्छा मुझे कि आज काम I have to close this task. I was like, but you know, if I would have placed this year, that year, this year, that year, this would have been done anyway. Because I saw a lot of gaps in the organization, I used to create business models. As an entrepreneur, to be very honest, after a year or two, you don't have to perform the task, but you have to fit the right people who are doing the task, who are getting the job done. An entrepreneur mostly gets the sales. You know, he is or she is the person who's talking to the client and getting the sale, locking a deal, doing negotiations. So the very first thing is that, do you feel you want to be in the system or you want to make the system? If you feel like you're a right fit, you can be like a puzzle, you know, you can fit in the system, it's fine. I think that and someone who is not are you okay with taking risks? Are you courageous enough that okay, it's all for nothing? Aaj if I have money, it's fine. Tomorrow I might not, and that's also fine, because the day after that I'll get up and I'll make it happen again. So mostly people who you know, fit in the job system is when they don't like taking so much risk. They want to go seedha straight line approach. An entrepreneur's journey is this, because you're making the system, you're learning your way. You know, every decision cannot be the right decision, but as long as you're okay with falling and coming back, thinking of that fall as a growth, I think anyone can be a very successful entrepreneur. So courage, and if you want to create the process, not be a part of the process. So these are the two things.
Being a teacher, how can, if someone, one student approach me that, sir, what do you think? I could be an entrepreneur, I could be suitable for a job. So being a teacher, what should we think, we see in a child or in a student, so that we can say that you could be a good entrepreneur or you could be suitable for a job, rather than these approaches at risk taking and anything else. But as a beginner, one student come to us for our advice. What is your opinion in this case?
Right. Okay, so let's say if someone comes to me, if you can just think or check his history, how stable and how consistent he has been. One is that it could be his grades, it could be his performance, because if he's getting bored of something very easily, you know, today he's very good or today she's very good, tomorrow she's not. Maintenance is a big thing when you run a business. You have to maintain it every day. You know, that is one of the issues that most of the entrepreneurs feel, that okay, you started with so much passion, but every day doing the same thing, it gets a little boring sometimes. So you have to keep the passion up of yourself and the whole team. So if that person has been very consistent with his grades or with his activities, 100% he is or she is someone who is big on the maintenance factor. That is one thing. Second is how um I want to elaborate a little bit on this. There are two types of approach that you have. One person is a visionary. They are, let's say, in a class, there could be few people who instantly want to become a leader or become a group leader or just lead something. They're not afraid. Those people are okay with being a visionary. Matlab, everything on their shoulders and they're fine with it. So they can take some pressure. So anyone who can take pressure is a good start. Matlab, you can think of it in many ways, like in a group class or in a test, if they have failed, if they've not been performing, but how good they are in taking that pressure. If they were okay with it, then I think that is a good way, because being an entrepreneur is not easy. Everyone's risk is on your shoulder. Everyone, your teammates, your clients, the companies. So just mentally you have to be very stable. Stability could be measured in the consistency of their grades. And if they're okay with putting everything on their shoulder in terms of any assignment, that's also one of the factors that you can keep in mind.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask a connected question. How important is the seed money for an entrepreneurship?
It's very important. I mean, see.
So how do you go about finalizing what is the minimum seed money that I require for my idea? So what is the starting point for this?
Okay, so every idea demands different kind of money. Like if it's anything tech based, if it's any app oriented, any technology, that will require a lot of money in research and development, because technology in general is very expensive. You need to show at least like 2 to 3 years of graph that this is what you've done before you go to the investor or first round of investing you need. But so if you want me to put a figure on it, it's not possible, because I do not know the idea. But for me as a creative agency, I started with just by funding my first job. My first job was a photo shoot for a client, and actually I would give you an experience for that. She is also a young designer. She just crossed college, and she told me, I have a collection. I took some money from my dad and I've done my collection. I want to get it shot. And she said, I only have 20,000 rupees. I said, in 20,000 rupees, it can't happen. How will she said, I'm going to go digital, but 20,000 hai. So actually I had a few savings. I invested around 2 lakhs in that from my own money, because I thought, I looked at the clothes and I looked at a passion. I said, you pay me later, but if we're doing this, we're doing a good job with this. And I put in my own money. I did the whole photo shoot and everything, the branding and everything. And in the third month, when the collection was out, they were earning revenue worth 12.5 lakhs on Instagram, just through Insta sales, because the shoot and the whole branding was impressive. In the next 6 months, so many actors were wearing her clothes. So just to give you an answer, there is no definite amount of seed money, but if as a creative agency, definitely you don't need a lot of money to start, because you also work with people on freelance basis. So it gets cleared by the client. But if it's a tech based company, it's important to have at least around 5 lakhs to start. You have to cover your expenses, and then you can go on to first round.
One question is here from Anshul Sharma. She says, how to think idea?
How to get the idea?
Yeah.
You already have ideas. It's just cluttered with 10,000 other ideas. So ideas are already floating. Probably the right way is, how can I filter out the right idea? So when you have to filter out the right idea, that's what I said. Like, you have 10,000 thoughts every day, just 10 minutes, just think about it. Which are the top 10 ideas that you have? Just write it down, do a course on it, do a web course on it, intern at an organization to see if you are even good with that idea or not. My uncle, he was heading Citibank, New York at one point. He said there are two things that you need to know. You know, when you go to college, firstly, now you suddenly in school you're a big fish in a small pond. In college, you're a small fish in the ocean. So then you realize how good you are and how bad you are. Both is very important. So when you intern, you understand how good or bad you are with that idea. So, you know, tick it off. You're like, no, this is not working. I'm terrible. This is working. I'm good. So something will come out of it. So you genuinely have the idea, whoever asked that question, but you want to filter it out. So that is like, just write down the top 10 things, intern, work, do a course. You will know if you're good or
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
not.
And ma'am, does Click Creatives, promote the screenwriting ideas? A lot of people are asking over, we have some budding talent over here as well, who want to become screenwriters.
100%. So we do digital ads also. We're not doing films as of now, but you know, if there are budding talents, then of course we can crack that also. So we do digital ads, and for that we regularly work with script writers. If there's someone, they can contact me or anyone. We can go onto our Instagram page or through LinkedIn, and we can totally work on that. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes,
So
Shreya.
thank you, Ashna ma'am, for your precious time and sharing your insights and tips for our future entrepreneurs. So, and special thanks to our director, sir, Dr. Rajesh Bagga, for giving us this good opportunity for organizing such events. To our president, Dr. Avneep Deora, President IIC, and to the entire team of IIC, the faculty members and the students for their patience listening. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, once again. And
Thanks.
one more compliment, the last compliment of the day. I think you must be associated with the number of educational institutions as a adjunct faculty or a guest faculty or something like this, fortnightly or monthly, so that you can motivate a lot many students with regard to this. So, and we are quite optimistic now. The president of IIC and coordinator Rushi, they will take care of some of few lectures to be given on some specific topics as well.
I would love that. Thank you so
Of
much.
course, sir. Thank you so much,
Thank you
ma'am,
once
for
again.
giving us time. Thank you once again.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ashna. Thanks a lot.